Let's go to our own Michael Brown, who's with Jeff Page from Heartland Customs.
The concept of resto-mod is not all that new, but if you look at this original appearing 58 Corvette that the guys at Heartland Customs in Purcell, Oklahoma have taken their hand to, you'll see there are some unique differences. We're talking here with Jeff Page. Jeff, what have you guys done to this 58?
Well, what we did is we basically took the original 58 body and then we put all new Corvette stuff inside of it so that you get complete original looks on the outside of the car, the inside of the car, even the engine compartment, but it drives just like a brand new car.
How did you come up with this concept? Because you really have taken it a step further than the typical resto-mod.
We have. We've got original Corvettes in our family, and we love the looks of those cars, but the new Corvettes that we've owned and driven, you can't compare the two as far as performance goes. So the idea kind of was if we can have the best of both worlds in one car, then the custom guys are going to love it, the purists are going to love it, and it's kind of a win-win for everybody.
Give me an idea on some of the specifics like engines. What kind of engines are you putting in these cars?
Well, right now, the SPECVETTE Corvettes that we build will all have Ligenfelter LS engines in them. They're building them for us, 3 different horsepower levels depending on how fast you want to go. We got the package that can match that. And then everything is designed around the engine you choose. You know, however much horsepower there is, then the whole drivetrain, the suspension, the brakes, everything changed to match the horsepower that the car puts out.
And what other kind of extras, like things that aren't readily visible, perhaps?
Yeah, we really wanted to keep everything completely bone stock. You know, you can have a car from 1953 to 1982, and we want people to really have to look at the car before they realize that everything's been modernized. But you've got things like the sensor on the dash, so you have light sensing headlights. They kick on at night, kick off during the day. You've got a power hood that you can do from your key fob or a button in the car. So we clean up the engine compartment. You don't have the old latches and stuff that kind of clutter everything up. The wiper motor's been relocated underneath the dash, but you got modern delay wipers. I mean, you literally have everything that a brand new Corvette has and more built into it.
And what year model range applies to this if someone has a 57 Corvette or whatever?
You can do any Corvette from 1953 all the way up to 1982. So a C1, a C2, a C3, Cooper Roadster, it doesn't matter. We can do this treatment to it.
You don't do the kind of work that you've done this overnight. Typically, how long can one expect for the entire job to last?
It's usually about a year to a year and a half, depending on how backlogged we are in the shop. How many options they've chosen, maybe the availability of the donor car or the parts that it takes to put one of these together. It's a pretty elaborate process, so it does take time, but I think it's something that's worth waiting for.
So do you, when someone turns you loose on this, do they say, well, let me know how much this is going to cost on down the line, or is it a la carte? You know pretty much going in.
Well, kind of as you know, when you do a one-off custom Corvette or a custom car, it's usually kind of a time and materials deal because it's a one-off. How would anybody know exactly what it's going to cost until you're finished? To me, I want to know exactly what I'm getting into. So what we did is we designed these cars with 3 performance levels and prices for each one, and you also have a menu of options, just like a brand new car at the Chevy dealership, that you can choose that have prices, and the day we design it, you know exactly what you're getting into.
Outstanding. There's also a recent association that's been announced with the National Corvette Museum, which is kind of unique.
Yeah, and that was something about 3 years ago when I came up with the concept for these cars. I wanted to get with somebody that was, immediately going to lend credibility to these cars and show that these are the top resto mods in the world. So I approached the National Corvette Museum and shared the idea, and they jumped in with both feet. They thought it was awesome to have, a purist looking car, but everything was just like the new Corvette. So each car is built in partnership with the National Corvette Museum. They're a serial edition, so you have a plaque on the firewall with the National Corvette Museum logo and the serial number, and you can also take museum delivery on these just like a brand new Corvette.
Amazing. Well, you've done an incredible job. If someone asked me, are you a resto mod guy or not, normally I would say, not really, I'm more of an original car guy, but here you really got the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
Adam Boca with the NC